global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello guys, welcome to Global Happenings. Today we have a trending news for you, and the headline reads: more troubles for the Igbo resident in Soba, Abule Ado, that lost their properties as federal government plans to take over all explosion sites. See details. But before we go into the news proper and further analysis, we do like you to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button below. Beside it, you will see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. Okay, let's go straight into the news of the day. There may be more trouble for the distressed resident of Soba, Abule Ado, Lagos State, as the federal government has initiated plans to take over the area affected by Sunday's explosion. This disclosure was made by the acting managing director / chief executive officer of the Federal Housing Authority (FHA), Omar Saliu Bonto, who visited the site of the explosion. According to Bonto, the federal government had acquired the large expanse of land from Ojo Barracks to trade fair, including the Soba axis, sometimes around 1970. The FHA, which is the Federal Housing Authority's boss, who commiserated with the affected persons, have however noted that many of the buildings in the area had encroached into the government-acquired land, making them illegal occupants. He said the Amuwadofil residents are claiming ownership while the government has acquired this land for a long time. The land spread to the Ojo cantonment up to trade fair, but over time the family, that's the owners, were still selling to unsuspected members of the public. The government is coming back to take charge. A task force has been constituted by the government, and the Lagos State government is going to help the federal government to sanitize this place after a proper investigation has been done and decision taken. Most of the landowners here did not buy from FHA, and if they did, let them bring the title they have. They don't have any title with us. We are not aware. All along, while we have been coming here, the place kept expanding and the family kept selling to unsuspecting members of the public, and they don't have anything to show for it. Actually, the source of this information is Guardian. Now, Nigerians have taken turn to react over the fact that, apart from the fact that these Igbo residents have lost a lot of lives, have also lost a lot of their properties, they will also lose the land that they have known to have been theirs for so many years. All of a sudden, they are no longer house owners, they are no longer landlords. It now belongs to another. But let's just feel the pulse of Nigerians over this case, and then we'll analyze this fully without being judgmental. This one here says, my Igbo brother and Biafra, let us go back to the land. Nigeria are no longer safe. Biafra, the land of milk and honey, the only hope of West Africa. Most definitely, the Igbos online would definitely react, and a lot of them have come with so many signposts like one Nigeria is a crime against humanity. This one here is saying, after the bombing now, remember they said, give us your land or die. My people are still deceiving themselves that they are Nigerians. Nigeria has declared war on Biafrans since they have been strategically wiping Christians and Biafrans from the face of the earth with impunity and without accountability. Umu Biafra, wake up, because we are at war. The sooner you realize it and you do something about it, the more lives can be saved. Alright, this one here is saying, so taking over the place is the reason behind the bombing. Sorry for the families affected, but Ndi Bonto, Dim Ojuku told you that you will cry had I known. I guess it's actually referring to Chukwu Meka or Dimegu Juku. Yeah, I think that's his full name, where he said something quite unique, that when he came down to Lagos, after living in the southeastern region, and he saw the edifices, beautiful houses, mansions, and business structures, headquarters in Lagos, already established in Lagos in the southwestern region. And he looked at it and he shook his head and he said, God, I weep for my people, that I hope they will not cry. I guess what he's trying to say is, why not go take all your businesses or your mansions or your beautiful homes? Why not use it to establish in your land? I'm talking about the southeastern land, so that whatever businesses you're doing, you will remember home more, and you'll be forced to come back home and develop your country or develop your state, or probably your community or your village, as the case may be. Well, I guess this man here is referring to the past of what Odumegwu Ojukwu said concerning Igbo business tycoons establishing their dynasty outside Igbo land. Alright, this one here says, comfort the victims first and provide reasonable assistance to the affected survivors. Federal government should forget about the land issue now when people are in tears. This one here is saying, federal government, few words to you, that's not a welcome development. Take over for what? To rebuild for the victims or what? Why is it that when people are in pain, you compound their pain? What was the blast? I take that again. Was the blast deliberate or what? God is about to visit those behind this evil with corona travels. Okay, I said maybe this whole coronavirus is for the federal government. Well, I guess that's on a lighter note. This one here said, all Igbo should support Biafra. The people don't love you. Okay. This one here is saying, replying to the last paragraph, this is why you have to bomb it, to collect it from the owners. Any campaign that is engineered to disintegrate Nigeria, I will support them. Said wicked souls everywhere. This one here is saying, open your eyes. Nigeria has commenced unsuspected Christians and Biafrans without formally declaring it. Chai. This one here is, this is an unfair treatment of Biafrans. Biafrans will continue and will never stop. I urge all Biafrans everywhere to support IPOB, where at least you will have your own people fighting your very crucial needs and interests. Please, I urge Biafrans now to do this as soon as possible, because things will not get any better. There's strength in unity and only weakness in individualism. The time has arrived. We must act now. All hail Biafra. This one here is saying, for those that lost their relations and loved ones, may their soul rest in peace. But for the property destroyed, which federal government is trying to reclaim, I will never have a pity on that. Igbo, stop developing your enemy's land. We will not hear. Come home and develop our land for your good. Okay, that's about the same thing I said about history of Ojukwu, saying that they should develop their land as against going to another man's land to develop it. Well, I guess some places in Lagos too are actually owned by the Igbos, I guess the high class, the highbrow areas. I guess there's some highbrow areas, for the elite, for the business elite of the Igbos. Well, I wouldn't know why, but then let's not be judgmental. But let me take one or two more, then let's fully analyze this case. This is why I say, I'm so sorry to say this, but I think sometimes I like the pains we in the Igbo are going through in this so-called Nigeria. We will be going through this mess not until we realize that we are not Nigeria but Biafra. That's strong. Okay, but let's take one more. This one here is saying, I know very, very well that it will come to this, okay? It left for those who want to use their brain to use their brain. So they are now telling me that this is the reason the so-called president cannot come down to Lagos to console the people that lost their lives and properties on Sunday. It's a shameful thing. Anyway, they are carrying out their plans against the Igbos as they had planned. If you have, there's a conversation between one Mr. Kunle and one Alaji like that, and then check it out with what is happening today in the country. If you are saying that it will end in 2023, you will tell whether you are the one going to occupy the seat come 2023 or chase them away. Small time now, you will hear that Dangote is building something there, a country where cows are being respected more than human beings. The one Nigeria, I guess he said, others people believing in one Nigeria also. Okay, but I think that's how much we would look into what Nigerians are generally having a feel. But I think generally these are guys who feel that this whole thing is an unjust. But let's look at this very critically without let's remove sentiment. Let's look at this thing very critically. The land was claimed to have been bought by the military sometime, or by the federal government for military sometime in 1970 something. Yes. Now, there's this general phenomenon we generally have in Nigeria. Nigerians don't buy land from federal housing or Ministry of Housing. It's a norm, because if they do, it's assumed that maybe, for instance, for a plot of land, if you go to all this Omonile them, they can sell you a plot of land for maybe like 350,000. But if you go to Ministry of Lands and Housing, they may sell that same plot of land for you for 1.5 million. So, have you seen the difference? And this Omonile, they will tell you the genuine land. Sometimes it could be encumbered, but you wouldn't know. Why? Because you don't have the document to search if that land has been bought or is encumbered. And sometimes don't even know if that land is an industrial area or not, based on the map of the state. You wouldn't know, but Omonile has told it to you that is a family. You will see the family people complete. They will tell you the genuine land. You will buy. Then subsequently, in the years to come, you will pay the price. Nigerians are falling victim over this land scam over and over again. When you begin to see very cheap land, say, let me buy it. Oh, one plot, very cheap. I'm order of it, very cheap. That area is always costly, but this one I bought it very cheap. But it's always safe buying from, Ministry of Lands and Housing, because they will tell you if that land is encumbered. They will tell you if that place is an industrial layout, so you don't bother building, or if that land has been given out by the federal government. Okay, but I feel that in this case, the federal government needs to come into play here, because lives have been lost, properties have been lost. If there's any way, I know we're asking for something too big, but if there's any way we can, cushion the effect of those who have lost their lives and property, losing their landed property again will be too much a blow for them. It's really not their fault, really, if you ask me. If there's anybody to blame here, is the Omoniles them that sold the land to them unknowingly. I also blame the military a little. How do I blame them? When they realized that the land they bought some 1970 something has started being encroached, they started seeing families build. They would have either built, collected some sort of monies to fence around that land they have bought, even if it's up to acre, a hectare, reasonable amount of money, probably in millions. After all, Nigerians have been known to loot money, so this one won't be a different case. Just get enough money, fence the land, and say keep off military zone. And any unsuspecting buyers seeing that will know that, look, why are they saying keep off? This land is not for sale, so that no one keeps falling victim. But now, Omonile capitalized on the fact that they have not laid claim physically over the land, and those unsuspected buyers who thought the land was actually not encumbered bought. So if you check properly, it's really not their fault in buying those lands. But I feel that that we need to trade here softly, so that people don't feel very marginalized as the case may be. I feel that someone who can come into this case, investigate properly, if possible. Honestly, if possible, since the military have not yet built on the land, they could always give them another chunk of land elsewhere. Already, Lagos is already overfilled. I wonder where they will get a free land, because Lagos is already being built back to back. So I wonder where they will probably get another land to give the military. But as the case may be, let's see how events unfold, because they said there will be some sort of sanitation and investigations. Because as the case may be, if those lands are given to the military right now, there may not be any compensation plan for those who have lost their lives, their properties, and probably their land. But that's how far we can go. What do you think about the implication of the fact that these guys have lost their properties, lost loved ones, lost relations, and will probably lose their land, and may end up being from landowners to